What's the biggest lie you told your family? I had always been the quiet one in my family, the one who kept things to myself and stayed out of trouble. But behind that calm exterior, I was hiding a huge secret, one that would have shattered my family if they ever found out. It all started during my first year of college. I was living on my own for the first time, and the freedom felt like something I had never experienced before. I was finally able to make my own choices without anyone watching over me, and at first, I was careful. But then came the party that changed everything. It was supposed to be a small get-together, the kind everyone says they'll leave by midnight, but no one ever does. I wasn't much of a drinker, but that night, I decided to join in. It started out innocent enough, but before I knew it, I had drunk more than I had planned. The next morning, I woke up with a blurry memory and a heavy sense of regret. I couldn't remember much, but I knew I had crossed a line. When I went home for the holidays, my family was eager to hear about how things were going. They asked how college was, if I was making friends, and how my grades were. I lied, of course. I told them everything was great. I told them I was focused on school, not going out much, and keeping things in order. But the truth was, I felt like I was falling apart inside. I had made a mistake that I couldn't undo, and it was gnawing at me every single day. To make matters worse, I started hiding other things. I lied about my grades, my social life, and even my part-time job. The more I lied, the harder it became to face my family. They were so proud of me, so excited about my future, and I didn't want to disappoint them. The biggest lie wasn't even about the party. It was the lie I had told myself, that I was fine, that everything was under control. I convinced myself that if I kept pretending, I could keep the perfect image going. My parents were so proud, always talking about how I was going to achieve great things. I didn't want to let them down, so I kept up the act. Every time they asked about my future, it felt like the pressure was building up, like I was suffocating under their expectations. I wasn't being true to myself, and I felt like I was living someone else's life. The guilt started to get heavier, and I began to realize that the longer I kept up the lie, the more it hurt. My grades started slipping. I couldn't concentrate, and I felt disconnected from the people around me. But still, I kept telling my family everything was fine. It wasn't until I came home for the summer and my parents sat me down to talk about my future that I finally cracked. I couldn't pretend anymore. I told them about the party, about my struggles, and about the mistakes I had made. I expected them to be angry, to scold me, or to tell me I had let them down, but instead, they listened. They didn't yell or lecture me. They just asked me what I had learned from it all. It wasn't easy for them to hear, but they assured me that everyone makes mistakes, and they were still proud of me. In that moment, I realized the biggest lie wasn't the one I had told them. It was the lie I had been telling myself, that I couldn't be honest with the people who loved me. The experience taught me that it's okay to make mistakes, that no one is perfect. I also learned that honesty is always the best choice, even when it's difficult. It wasn't easy to admit the truth, but once I did, it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I'm still learning to be more honest with myself and with my family, but I know now that I can be vulnerable and still be loved.